Hello, guys, and welcome to the Morning Howdy. I'm Tyler. This is my friend Mario, and like every morning,
Howdy.
howdy.
Cheers. Go Astros.
Oh yeah. So last time we talked a little bit after our interview, we kind of got into the topic of martial arts and fighting because that kind of plays in a little bit with art. So the main topic of today is gonna be like fighting, martial arts, Jackie Chan, the mix. But yeah, I'm gonna ask you a question. So like, when did you start getting into martial arts, or you became interested in martial arts?
First of all, I'll say thanks for having me back on, man.
No problem, no
Good
problem.
shit. Good shit.
I can have you on anytime, bro.
Yeah, thanks, man.
We
Good
got-
time. Good time last time.
Alright.
When I got started, it's weird because in the beginning, my dad has been a big boxing fan pretty much throughout his whole life. His dad was in boxing when he was a kid.
So he's like every Friday.
Yeah, every pay-per-view, every big event, he would take me and my sister out to one of his friend's house or some random restaurant or a bar, and we just hang out and just watch the boxing match, man. It was like tradition in a way. I was like,
Get that free pay-per-view going to the restaurants. I'll do the same. thing.
Well, they make you pay. They make you buy something.
They do that at like Buffalo Wild Wings. So
Yeah.
People always just want to crowd up in there like little chicken nuggets.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Get the wings.
Like sardines in a can.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
but yeah, that was my first experience in a lot of people don't consider boxing like a martial art traditionally because they think like Eastern martial arts, but it is like a self defense. But he taught us how to throw punches really young.
Okay.
Like, he would hold his hands out like this, and he'd be like, "All right, throw a jab, boom, throw the right, boom," and he would teach me and my sister almost every night when we come back from work.
Very cool.
Cause he'd maybe work after the day, so that'd be kind of like our bonding thing. So yeah, that's my first experience in fighting.
So like, were you like 3 years old punching the hands?
Yeah, no joke. Yeah, I was 3 years old, 3 or 4 years old, punching the hands.
Your dad probably's got the meaty hands now, huh?
Yeah. He does, especially because he works with his hands. So it's like
Oh,
he
okay.
has bigger hands. But yeah, man, it was pretty cool, man. Just because you learn just how to defend yourself for one, and it kind of gives you that confidence throughout your whole life.
Yeah.
Knowing that you're not as, because you forget how vulnerable you are as a human being. It's like walking throughout life. I think it's kind of funny how people sometimes just start stuff not knowing who they're talking to.
Yeah.
As far as the other person, even me, man. Even though I have some sort of training, I'm not professional by any means, or even a high-end amateur, but I take air. I don't even fighting is always the last resort as far as conflict. But
I always find out when people find their martial arts, they always pick up a style. They always pick up say a better way to pick up their chest. They find their own rhythm when they walk and just how they conduct themselves because they found their step. Your next step. They find that. Yeah. I always find out people generally are more confident after that. Not just because of self defense that they're scared of people, but they just have a better means of having higher charisma.
Yeah.
Throughout their daily lives because in anything when you put adversity in martial arts you have to train and you can start training with anything but you always have to progress in it and it's cool when it's an art like martial arts because generally you can come up with your own style. You don't have to be like the person you see on TV. You can adapt from it like Bruce Lee once said. Well, it wasn't exactly quote what he said, but he generally was saying it's good to know all the best of all there is and put it into a style that works for you or generally works through say any competition or a realistic fight.
Yeah.
Because there's taekwondo and taekwondo isn't going to do you good in kickboxing when people are punching and kicking.
Yeah.
And kickboxing isn't going to be the best when the dude knows jiu-jitsu and is going to take you on the ground.
Yeah.
You have to know a little bit of every style and kind of. It's just like painting a picture. You put the pieces of every art and every style, and then you kind of complete it into your own picture, your own style, your own blend.
Mm-hmm.
You ever heard of the last style bender?
Israel Adesanya?
Yeah.
Yeah, MMA.
Yeah.
Champion right now, middleweight
He
champion.
himself. So I don't know why he came up with the name, the last style bender, But what I've noticed is he does put a little style. He puts a little flair into it. Yeah, he's a little cocky. What I've seen in his videos, but that's his adaptiveness to the scenario that he gets so comfortable doing his ring, doing his thing.
Yeah.
It's like when you're at home and you like draw all the time. You're comfortable. You're in your comfortable space. Just like when a fighter's in the ring, that's when he gets comfortable. It's when he gets going, and once he gets loose, he gets comfortable. That's when someone actually becomes better. Because if someone's tight and they're not moving, you know, they're a bigger target. Or if you're like out and you're like trying to go into a competition, right? You've never been into a competition, and it's like say artsy competition. You know, you're gonna be nervous. You're gonna tight. You're not gonna have that fluidness, you know, off the finger that you would doing anything else.
Yeah, no, it's true what you say about bringing your own like flair and style to it, and it's important because not every single like the traditional way, because each martial arts has a traditional way teaching how to stand and how to move and stuff like that. But even then, you have to find your own rhythm, your own way of like. It's like I compare it a lot to a dance, like it's like has certain footwork, certain way you move your shoulders, your hips, and everything, and the importance of bringing your own like little imprint into it is finding that comfortability, like you said, of being in your own body, especially like in that awkward position of being in a conflict, like the simulated conflict that you're in, of fighting, of you sparring, even like stuff like sparring, like practicing stuff like that. You have to find your way in a way.
For sure.
Yeah, it's kind of redundant, but
no, you do have to find your way.
Yeah.
Because you can't. So if you ever have a master, right? If you really start in martial arts, you have a teacher. You have a master, and what a master is going to teach you is everything he knows.
Yeah.
But as in generations and generations, they only get better because you're supposed to take in what you're given. Yeah. Because since you have that youth and all the knowledge from the old, that's when you adapt. That's when you adapt from that point. And then from that point, you could teach later down the road.
Yeah.
And then it could be like a progression through a timeline. Whenever I first started, liking boxing or any type of martial arts, yes, it was from Jackie Chan. It was from the movies. There was a show, something about Jackie Chan. They would always find those little emblems, and they would, if you had like the little emblem or like the little piece, like you would have the superpower of that piece. No, exactly. And they would go around, they'd go around their little adventures, and I always thought that was so cool. But I didn't really get like anything physical, and it was mainly my like older brother. My older brother he was older, so we would always get in little conflicts. I was around older people, would get aggressive, and when I was just getting older, I was just like, man, I want to get into martial arts. So the first actual martial arts I got into was Taekwondo. I didn't know what I was getting into. I didn't study the style. I just knew like there was a place close by. I wanted to do not just cool things, but I wanted to perfect myself. I wanted to be better at something. Yeah. So I first go in there, and the first lesson they start teaching you is the spinning back kick. Oh yeah. That's the first one you learn.
It's a good move.
So it is a good move, and it's a very powerful move if you do it right. And you spin, you keep your foot forward, how they do it there, and from there you lift the leg, you kick back, right? And I always whenever I learned the move, I always tried to do it at home. And as I was doing it at home, I was just being goofy, watching TV while I did it. And just one day I was just kicking, and I was just kicking like towards the window, and I just subconsciously was just doing it, and I just kicked the window, and the whole glass just shattered, like bam. And at first I was like, cool, and I was just like, no, like I'm gonna get in so much trouble. And I was just like, but in the back of my mind I was like, dang, I actually did that. I was like, dang, I like busted up. I mean, it's not that great, like, to do that. I mean, obviously, anyone can put any force on a window and break it. But I was younger, so I was just like, oh, cool.
No, like, of course, I get what you mean.
And, like, I never... Power. I was like, yes, I'm getting Jackie Chan. Protect people, but... Yeah. I never really got too far in there, because I ended up getting out of the classes fairly early. I always, like, wanted to get into sports. And then, after sports or like times where I wasn't in sports, I'd pick up something else. So what else? Well, like what all the styles have you picked up, or all the genres of fighting have you done?
Oh man, I picked up quite a few as far as like different martial arts. I started off with karate in 3rd grade through like the 7th grade. and I did like point tournaments, which was kind of like. I mean, I guess most karate tournaments are based off of that.
Yeah, like heads,
Where it
body.
was like, yeah, you wear like headgear and gloves and feet and like
It's like whenever you touch someone with your foot to their head, it's just like a point.
Yeah, it's like up to first to 3, and for like bigger tournaments, it's same format, but you fight twice.
So it's like a 2 out of 3.
2 out of 3, yeah. So yeah, that was a pretty cool experience because I did it for one. I had my cousins with me, and shout out to Felix, shout out to Jonathan. You know, they're my first like training and like exercise partners growing up because we played all sports.
Having a partner in martial arts and having a good one, someone you can trust, someone who's wanting to develop like you, can make you grow exponentially. And
No, for sure. Like, absolutely correct about that because you have someone that you can, like, you're on the same wavelength. So it's like you have someone that that's trying to reach the same goals you're trying to do. Yeah. And especially when you're young because you're just developing everything. It's like you're a sponge and you're just learning a bunch of new stuff. But yeah, we would pretty much go like every Thursday to this, like, this community center and they would teach us karate. And we would do various tournaments. Like I went 8-0 for the first like 8 tournaments I did. Same thing with my cousin, and I ended up going like 16-2 throughout my whole career, like karate. But no, it was real cool. And then after that, I did boxing in high school.
So how in the karate you were in, were they doing belts?
Yeah, they were doing belts. I got to the highest belt ranking.
Black belt?
Oh no, it went through. It was 3rd degree purple belt as far as like kids. I could be wrong about that actually, but I know I reached the highest degree of belt for like up to like 13. Because after a while, once you hit 13, you switch it to adult.
Okay. So they do it like that in the place you were at.
Yeah.
The way they run it. Okay.
Yeah. It was like I believe it was very.
Because in Taekwondo, you can be young and have a belt.
Yeah.
But I'm sure like different places have different, you know.
Well, after you reach the highest point for like for your age bracket, if they hit 13, you move up to the adult, and if you reach the highest point, you get to you start off a yellow belt. So
even if you're a purple when you're a kid and you go to,
you won't be a white belt. Yeah.
Or you just go to a yellow.
You just go straight to a yellow. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. But this is during a transition where we're moving to a different house and a different area of town, so I wasn't able to continue on with it because it's just kind of like traveling and stuff like that. Yeah.
So where were you before?
I was not too far from here actually, like down, down 249. Like,
okay.
North Houston.
So you're just like in the other part of Houston per se.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. But at the time, it just didn't really work out. So yeah, I took a little break in between, as far as like athletic career, and ended up. And during this time also, like I'm doing like my parents put me, God bless my parents. Shout out to my mom and my dad. They put me in pretty much every single like sports imaginable, like basketball, soccer. Those are the only two I gravitated to.
Yeah.
Well, and American football too. We didn't have like Pee Wee football at that time in my area. So yeah, man, I was always like into like just the athletics in general, the fitness as a young kid, and I guess after that, from like I did football in 9th grade, and then what I really always wanted to do was boxing, obviously, because I grew up watching boxing, so I pretty much boxed throughout high school, and I guess we can get into kind of have some experience with this too. Like I boxed, in the gym and like outside the gym, because it's during that time like MMA and stuff like that were really popular.
Okay,
and, like, every kid was like having like a backyard fight,
backyard rumble.
Yeah, backyard rumble.
Beef breakdown.
Yeah.
Letting it all happen.
Yeah, so they would just pretty much, and they'd be like, all right, it's, pretty much how you would do, like you go to the backyard, put on gloves, and you want to fight, and just go out.
So you were doing this at school?
No, not at school. No.
Oh.
It was at buddies' houses.
So like you started boxing before classes or like?
Oh no, it's after school.
So just after school, like you like, even though were you already in a boxing class at this time? Or
yes.
Did you do it prior?
Oh, so no, I did it prior and after.
Okay.
Just kind of like.
So the time you were in school doing this, you weren't in any classes.
Oh no, this was like only after school. I would like
Yeah, I'm
spar.
saying, but were you like training during the same time?
Oh no.
Okay.
Because there weren't like no boxing class during high school.
Okay.
It's
So,
very rare that I see like a boxing team for like a public school.
yeah, they usually have that for college. It's
Yeah,
more
they
of a
do.
college
Yeah,
thing.
they do have for college. You're right. I know Notre Dame. Notre Dame has it for their curriculum, like athletic curriculum. So no, I would be I would go. Actually, I went to George Foreman's gym.
Oh shit.
Yeah, no joke. Like it was up in the
Did you get
Aldi Westfield Road.
do you get a
North
free
side.
grill if you sign up?
No man, he was a real deal, man. He was like one of the few people who I met him actually. He was one of the few people who like preached what he said. He had this program that for kids
Mm-hmm.
under a certain age. I forgot what age it was, but you would pay your age for that year. So say if you're like 15, you would pay 15 a year, and that's it. Like he wouldn't like charge anything else.
So if you're 13, you pay 13.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it was cool, man, because you go in there and you get like roll
I guess the
pass.
old people are struggling to pay.
But
16.
yeah, well, I guess maybe because also because it was like in the hood, it was like in the Mexican hood,
Okay.
and
Giving some opportunities.
yeah, he was trying to give back to the community, and yeah, man, that during that time, it was kind of traveling was a bit because you know how Houston is.
Yeah.
It takes like 30 minutes to get anywhere, and at the time I was living up in Spring, and we would be driving all the way down. It was crazy to go that experience because you know how, especially during it's still the same thing. We live like in a upper middle class area to like high class, and then we scroll down, and you keep going down, you just keep getting worse and worse.
Yeah, towards the city.
Yeah, towards the city.
Yeah.
Well, but then you then you get in the hood. It's funny because the streets start going all bumpy and like you start seeing like the people like.
Well, Houston's like, if you look at a map, it's like a circle, right? And as you go outside the circle, it's generally better. So it's a city as a circle, and then it's like not so good suburbs, and it just as the circle expands, it gradually grows into a better community. And then you finally get, after the suburbs, you get to the rural areas and farming areas.
Yeah, the loop. The loop. Yeah. But
So during these boxing things with your friends, do you have any stories that you share that you used to see?
oh man, there's quite a few. The first one I ever got into was like through it's hard to like say that it was no beef at all. Like all this stuff was like just mutual.
Yeah.
Because you're a teenager, you're kind of like hormones are raging.
You just want to box.
You kind of just want to like fight. You're kind of just like not like a meathead necessarily, but you want to, especially at this point, everyone's kind of like just trying to prove like how much of a man they are.
Yeah, they want to see who's a better fighter.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, okay, let me tell you some funny stories. So I did something like that. Like after school, I would go around and I would box with my friends and just for fun,
Yeah.
We would be seeing the UFCs, but low key I had been practicing before, and most of my friends haven't. Or like I had like a couple friends who actually got into fights a lot when they were younger, or had older brothers like I did.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying that makes me like better in a certain way, but I was just like, I guess, more lenient to take the punch, or more aware of not so blindsided to the whole scenario. So a couple things I used to do. I used to go to LA Fitness, right? And in LA Fitness they have the little yoga room, and they in those yoga rooms they have the little boxes for if they ever do boxing classes, and like you could just open up the box and you have little boxing gloves. They're the worst boxing gloves you've ever seen. Like they're like blue, and like you have to like there's no bottom padding. It's just like only on the top, and like when you like try to put it on, it like falls to the side.
Yeah.
Definitely a wrist breaker, but I mean we used them. We didn't want to we didn't want to punch
Well,
each
they're
other.
like gloves that everybody uses, so like the padding's all worn out at that point. So.
Yeah, everyone
Yeah.
uses them, but like we had to use something. We were only gonna punch each other in the face. That's no good. So we would go. So after we did that, we would either box inside the little yoga room, or we'd go outside and box, and like we'd all take turns. Like everyone boxed everyone one time, and then if someone wanted to box again, they could. So I would box all my friends, and I would always watch people box. And it was fun. Like I had fun. I'd always get my friends with this move, right? We would say we were boxing, just playing around. I always just do this. I always just sneak in hit the little overhead, and then it gets them every time because you know I was always shorter than my friends, so I would find a way to use that as my advantage, and I just get real close and get them.
No, the overhead works is a good move for taller fighters. A lot of tall fighters usually they sit up. They kind of stand up straight.
Well, generally
they're tall. Also,
yeah. Well, generally, especially if you're playing around, you know.
Yeah.
You're not really gonna be like this back to the block, you know. You're kind of just loose, you know, just playing around. So I would just get real close, and I wasn't punching the hardest I could, but you know, I was trying to technically win. So I'd always be doing that. It'd be funny. I wouldn't really say there was a winner, but I would never be the one to quit.
Mm-hmm.
I would never say I always beat them up or beat my friends. It was always just like I wasn't the one to say, all right, I'm done first.
Yeah.
Usually my friends would do that. There was one time I had a friend, and I had never been hit in the temple before. So like he hit me in the temple, and I was like, wait, hold up. I was like, this is confusing. I was like, I've never been hit in the temple. Like he just like I did that. I tried doing the little move, but he was like a friend watching, so he knew I was gonna do it. So he like prepared for it and hit me in the temple, and I was just like I was confused because I never had been hit in the temple. Mm-hmm. Have you ever been knocked out before?
I've never been knocked out, but I've been rocked for sure.
You've been rocked? What was the first experience of you being rocked, if you can recap?
Well, you know, actually the first experience of me being like, not necessarily rocked with my head, but I got hit in the body. It was like a kidney shot or liver shot. And I remember it specifically because it was like one of the first few times I was sparring at the boxing gym. And I remember because it was a really like tight fight. Because the guy who got the fight was pretty good. And,
so was this a friendly spar?
It was a friendly spar, but you know, a lot of times
you were taking it aggressively.
Sometimes whenever there's a lot of the term called gym wars, where like people just end up fighting just like in the gym, like just you know really going at it, and it turned into that just because it was for one. There at the gym there was two opposite coaches and they didn't really like each other, so we're kind of like representing each one, and then eventually a crowd came. And especially when a crowd comes, if it's not gonna be you who, I'm not saying I didn't turn it up necessarily, but you both turn it up. But if it's not you, the other person's gonna turn it up because they don't want to like a fool in front of them.
Yeah, so it's either one person going harder than the other.
Yeah, so we were both going at it and we're pretty good. But then either way it was a close fight. But he did hit me like. I remember he hit me like high, and then he hit me below
the liver.
In the liver, and I remember it was the weirdest thing because I got hit, and I didn't feel it immediately, and then it's like oh, I just took a knee because I'm like what the hell just happened? Cause
yeah, you had never been hit.
You don't really, you have no idea like how it's weird because you don't really think about that, especially at that age, man. I'm like 15, so I think I'm like invincible.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's like. Yeah, I'm not saying like I wasn't the greatest fighter because I wasn't at all. But you had that confidence as a kid, especially in fighting, because something I was like obsessed with as a kid. So I'm like, damn, what the hell?
You were confused?
I was just kind of confused because like it never happened to me before.
Like, so this is how it feels.
Yes, like. Yeah, this is how it feels. Like so, this is, but it's a humbling. Like of course, it's a humbling experience, but also it's like it's learning because especially because this guy was like. Man, at the time I wasn't that big, but I was like 145, 150 pounds. 55 pounds, this guy was like 120, 125. He was light, but he was fast. And part of me saw that as like, I can beat this. Because, as a young kid, you're kind of like, I always knew that, because I was always a smaller guy as well, that size doesn't really matter, but even then sometimes if it's like big enough, you're like, okay, this guy's smaller.
Yeah, you just get the percent. It's like saying you fight someone you don't know, like how you were saying in the beginning. It's the same concept. You see someone smaller than you or shorter than you. I feel like a lot of things that I've seen is when someone's taller than you, they automatically feel like they're bigger than you, stronger than you. I've got that all. I've seen it through my perspectives and how I see people see others, and not just through my experience, But like I always see if someone's taller than you, they're gonna think they're better than you. It's just I don't know why. This is how it is sometimes.
It's just it is like that sometimes, but it's not necessarily. I don't really blame it on the person because that's kind of how we're taught as growing up as like just people in general.
Yeah.
Right? People always assume bigger the better. Yeah. It's just it's natural, and there's some truth to it necessarily because usually if a person's trained and they're taller. And the other person's trained is shorter. Usually, this bigger person wins just because they if they're smart, if they know how to use their body.
You're saying if they're like completely equal.
Yeah, they're completely equal. You know how to use their lane.
Yeah.
They know how to use if they're smart, of course. I mean, it's not always it's not set always, but usually.
You can definitely say it's more of an advantage.
Yeah, of course. Just,
yeah, it's
of
always
course.
if there's height and there's reach, and the people in the same mindset, there's an advantage because someone can get hit without the other one getting hit if you're doing the same thing.
But usually, but what you're saying that comes from it comes from a place of ignorance. It's just kind of not knowing. They think that I'm taller.
It's cockiness.
Yeah, cockiness. Just kind of like it's just what they think because they see somebody. That they assume, they're bigger and they assume stronger.
Mm-hmm.
They assume that they, for some reason it's weird because you're right. They assume that they know how to fight better.
They think that until they get humbled, right?
Yeah.
So I've actually never had a serious liver shot before.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe I have if I've like fell on the ground or like through football and I hit myself and I was like sort of out of breath. But I don't think it was. I think it was more like here or something, like getting hit in the diaphragm. But I don't think I've ever had a legit liver shot. I don't think I want one. I don't know what to expect. I don't know how it feels. I've never been. No one's tried to hit me there. Mm-hmm. People want to hit my pretty face. They don't want me to look good tomorrow. No one wants to hit me in the body. But
working the body is not like the most popular thing usually. Like people always headhunt.
They do.
Yeah, people are always gonna try to go for like the
KO.
The movie action movie highlight, action movie knockout. Because everyone wants to look spectacular like some sort of badass. But really the body is where it works because for one, they're not expecting it. And most people don't know. Yeah, I'm just talking about in general like in a self-defense situation. Most people don't really know how to defend themselves that way. It's kind of like they're always like just guarding the face.
Yeah.
So especially because especially these amateur videos, like you see, like they're kind of like, it's like very high up and just kind of like.
When people do that, they're using their distance because generally, whenever you're in that state where you know it's a fight, the first instinct is your head. You want to block your head, and what you think is they're just trying to hit me in the face. You don't, like I said, if it's a street fight or self-defense, you don't know what they're trying to do to you, right? You can only guess and you can only defend yourself. So I get the style where generally people are like this, they're far away, blocking the head.
No, it makes sense. I get what you're saying. Too.
But wait, hold on. But when I see that, but when people want to defend themselves and they do this, they lean back.
Yeah.
I just always think to myself, man, like right there. So
it's a straight,
Yeah. So one thing I've noticed is like personally, I haven't really learned to perfect utilizing their body, like punching the body. It was always just like a general idea that you want to aim for something, but like since I've never been hit in a certain place, and since I've never put anyone to their knees hitting a liver shot or like a crazy body shot, I've never done that. So I wouldn't know how that feels, and like probably a lot of other people, they all know about it, but they've never done it, and then they don't know what to expect from it. Like, say you're in a martial arts and it's like you only do kicks, right? It's like throwing a punch. You're not used to throwing the punch. Yeah, you learn how to throw the punch, but it's just not the same. It's not the same. Yeah. So most people like street fights or self-defense, they don't know to defend the body or even attack the body, right? Yeah. But let me tell you one thing: you get hit in the body once, you're gonna be like this. And then that's when you go for the head, of course. Yeah. So let me tell you about a fight I had. So I was in high school, and I was like 6th or 7th grade. I can't remember. It was one of the two, and there was a kid that said he could beat up everyone, right? And like he had fought some kids and actually like not beat them up, but he would win the fight, like it was an actual fist fight. And he was like, blah blah, beat up everyone, blah blah, beat up you. And he said that to me a couple times. I just laughed, and he kept saying it. I was like, nah, man, you can't beat me up. Like, nah, like it progressed to the point where it's just like, man, nah, I'm gonna show you, because he was talking too much, and it was like not because. At the end, I treated it as a friendly fight. Like at the end, I didn't, it wasn't a big deal to me. And to me, it was never a serious. I don't think I've ever had a fight where I just wanted to go kill someone. Yeah. Because I've always stopped myself, right? I've always been the peacemaker at the end. I was the humbler, not the humbling. Wait.
I get what you're saying.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Humbler,
yeah.
not the.
I'm not sure, but
Like,
but I know exactly what you mean.
Okay,
Yeah,
so-
I get what you're saying. You're the one that.
So we go on and we find the first thing he does. I'll never forget this day. He does like a fake kick to my stomach, right? I straight up tried to block it, right? And it was a fake, and he just straight up knocked me in the face, and I was just like, I was like, whoa! I was like not expecting it. I was just only focused on the kick, but it was just a fake. And he clocked me. And I was just like, fuck that. And like the fight was quick. I gave him a bloody nose, and like he was like this, and like it just stopped. And like I had all my friends were like, oh, and like that hyped me up, and I was like, oh, and like he was like bleeding. I'm like, I stopped. I didn't really take it serious. So once I knew he was just like, I guess you could say done, I stopped. But the reason I remember the fight so much is because he got me because he went for the body, and it was just like it was like Bruce Lee. You know Bruce Lee's move where he does a thing and he distracts you like this, and then he kicks. It's like a feint. They call it a feint.
Yeah,
he feinted me, and I never knew about the feint until that day because I got to experience it, and it's very effective.
Yeah,
it works.
It is. No, it does. Because it's kind of like a fake movement, and then it hits you somewhere else. Because if you're not really like know what he's trying to do, you're gonna fall for it every time.
I know. I just remember the days. Like I find it just so funny that it worked.
Yeah.
Because I was so young, and when I look back at it, I was just the way I reacted to it. I was just like stupefied. I was like, damn, I'm so stupid. I was just like, I really got hit with this, But little things they work, and you can apply that to a lot of things in life too. Like you just go with the little things, they'll work. You don't have to always go big. You can start small. Yeah. Into a street fight. And if you were, was it because of you? Were you starting it, or was it because of someone else?
Not a street fight, like straight up, like 1 versus 1. Just really, the only thing outside, like the dojo or like the boxing gym, it was more just self-defense situations where I kind of just use it to like neutralize
situation.
Yeah.
And me and Mario, we don't glorify fighting. That's to me. And what I've heard from Mario is that's not our first reaction. We don't want to fight.
No.
That's to me. That's not the answer.
No. Never.
But I've had to. I've chose to. Me personally, I've made that decision.
Yeah.
But in the back of my head, I don't want to fight.
Yeah.
It's just me.
No,
it's not my first
thing. It should never be the first reaction because for one, the obvious is why. One, the whole situation of getting in trouble. It's like it's not worth it.
Yeah, of course.
And two, your health and your safety because really honestly, even someone with me or someone like you who's had some type of training, you're not gonna anyone can get got, anyone can get hit, just get hit, get knocked out, hit their head on the pavement and stuff like that, and then you're paralyzed, you're dead. Or reverse the situation, you hit somebody and they fall and they get hurt, and then you have to live with that the rest of your life. And it should always be the complete, absolute last resort, unless you see someone getting, attacked or hurt, or they come at you. No. Excuse me, but I don't glorify it at all because it's not something that should be used for I guess as they say now, clout, prestige, for your ego. Martial arts is all about killing the ego. It's not about making yourself more of a badass. Because man, if you go into any gym, any stuff like that, you're gonna get humbled really quick. Yeah. Immediately. Especially I guess the next martial art I took was Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And it was a little more interesting experience because I come from a stand-up background for the most part, like karate, boxing. And this is when MMA started getting popular. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't see MMA because back in the day it wasn't as refined as it is now. And even then that wasn't an excuse.
Well, how old are you? Wait, before you start, how old are you again?
I'm 30.
Okay, you're 30.
Yeah.
I would say it wasn't. The internet is really good, and it wasn't out there in the internet, like the Gracies. The Gracies, they would go out and do everything, but not everything was posted, not everything was online. No one had the availability to know the things that were going on. So imagine if we had all the techniques from 1,000 years ago of all the monks, and they taught us all their secrets. Imagine how martial arts would be today. But yeah, continue.
Oh no, yeah, you're absolutely right. So I watching that, I was like, oh man, that's like glorified street fighting, because that was the thing that people would say around like the boxing circles and like traditional martial arts circles. But then I became friends with a buddy named Cameron. Shout out to Cameron. It was actually funny you're talking about LA Fitness, and that's where I started learning Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. Cause
at LA Fitness.
Yeah. He we would pull out like just yoga mats and just grapple. And man, I got wrecked every time. Yeah. Because I had no idea what the hell I was doing.
So was he like even teaching you? Or was
he was teaching me. He was.
Or was he just using you as your dummy?
No. He would break things down, but of course we would grapple. You know, of course. Because the thing is, I may have not been like technically sound at all, but I had some type of athleticism, so I would pose some type of challenge, not like
You would use your aggressiveness to say move into better positions.
Yeah, aggressive. Or that, and also just kind of like using the attributes like speed and like some type of power.
So what I've seen is a lot of people that want to do these things with people, all they know is a chokehold, right? All they know is to pin them on the ground. They don't know what to do next.
Yeah.
And that's what I've seen with like people who are wrestlers. It's like you know how to put someone on their back, but what's next?
Well, I mean, that has to do more with the martial arts they're learning. Because for wrestling, it's all about the takedown and controlling that person, like holding him down.
Mm-hmm.
They don't necessarily teach you how to like do submissions. Mm-hmm. That's where jiu-jitsu comes in. Which jiu-jitsu is more just the manipulation of the person's joints to use their body.
Disable them.
You disable them, yeah. Not really about taking them down and stuff like that. I mean, there's takedowns now, obviously, in jiu-jitsu, but I mean, there's always been, but it's more just about leverage and self-defense situation. Where wrestling is more about like controlling instead of like submitting. Like it gets you to the point, and then you figure out from there. You can throw, if punches or like just hold them and just stay.
I think if someone's gonna start jiu-jitsu, the first thing they need to learn is the submissions. They need to know what they can do in these sorts of situations before they even start training. They need to know what to even look out for in these situations. Because if someone's in a mount, they have a limited amount of. That's like the most opportune part. If someone's on top of you mounted, right? Or if someone's in like what they call a half guard or side guard, they're on the side and they have your body, half of your body pinned, and they have the arm pretty much open and the side of your head. Like in these certain positions, you're able to do a lot of things, right? But if you don't know how to do them or you don't know how to defend against them, you're kind of just left there on top of someone just waiting until something happens, right? Mm-hmm. So when I started, the first thing I did was I was watching the UFC, I was watching fights in general, and I had a friend, and we would practice, right? And like we would practice these things, and like his older brothers, see, he did classes, and what he would do is he would like mess with us, and he would do these things, and then from that we would learn, right? He would slightly teach us the locks and the holds, and then from there, me and my friend, we would just play around and we would adapt and practice from it, right? See, if you're just like only say you go to a school and every day is another lesson, right? You're only learning one thing at a time. That is very good. But if you're constantly sparring, constantly rolling, and trying new things, say, if this time I'm gonna roll, I'm only gonna go for this, and the next time we roll, I'm gonna go for this. You're adapting yourself to a new situation every time, and you're learning.
Yeah.
I think jiu-jitsu is probably the most efficient out of all of them, because you don't have to worry about knocking someone out.
Yeah, no.
In a real life situation, someone says someone has a knife and they're trying to kill you. What are you gonna do? Try to knock them out? No, you want to try to disable them, right?
Yeah.
That's like the key goal, because they're not gonna try to stop. You're gonna have to. Worst case scenario. That's what it's meant for, right?
Yeah. No, I agree. As far as like jiu-jitsu is probably the most practical thing to learn, because it's all about neutralizing it. Like you don't have to throw a punch to do anything. So I guess going back to the street fight thing, it's a long story, but I'll briefly just get to the point of what happened. Somebody was attacking one of my friends, and I just pushed him back to the wall, and he came at me and tried to take me down. Mm-hmm. And as he did that, I just got him in a guillotine choke and just held him there. Mm-hmm. And he still tried to take me down. So the more he was trying to lift me, the more I was picking him up.
Yeah, tighten.
Just tighten. Just kind of saying, listen, I'm still hold you. Yeah. If you keep trying to do this, I'm gonna choke you out.
Yeah.
So, but that's what jiu-jitsu is for. It's about complete self-defense. It was originally constructed for like the smaller, weaker person in a fight. It wasn't meant for. I mean, of course, anyone can do it, but it was meant for that type of situation. It's all leverage.
Yeah, it's all leverage.
So it's very technically sound. So you don't have to be athletic necessarily to be great at it.
It makes you use less strength.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
More technique.
Exactly.
And like the more technique you know, the less amount of, because if you know how the body works, right, you can take advantage of the way the body works. Say someone's on top of you, right, and they're swinging their arms. The moment, say, someone swings their arm, their weight is forward, and you can use the momentum of the arm, take it, trap it, or use it as a momentum change. Same thing if someone's trying to tackle you. You know, you could use the force they're giving you, and you could adapt it into you using their force against them.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot the exact term for doing that, but it's useful because say someone's okay. Let me give you another scenario. Someone is like this on the ground. They're on top of you. And they're putting their weight on their hands. People who are experienced, they don't do this, but they're putting the weight on their hands. If they're putting all their weight on the hands, you take the arms, they're going to fall straight, right? They're going to just go like this. And from that, you use their weight and the momentum of what they're giving you, and you don't have to use anything. You just take it away and pull it towards you, and you can spin, you can lock, you can do a lot of things.
Yeah, you can use other people's. It's like you're becoming a counter fighter.
Mm-hmm.
You're countering what they give you.
Yeah.
A lot of successful fighters, I guess two of the best examples out there, not jiu-jitsu, but as far as fighting is Floyd Mayweather, he's like the prime example, and Conor McGregor. They're both very like reactionary.
Mm-hmm.
They wait to what you do, and they use your own actions against you.
Yeah.
But back to jiu-jitsu. No, it's been honestly that's probably been out of all the martial arts I've done, it's easily the most humbling one I've done before, man.
Yeah.
Because man, like you said, it's one of the most practical ones. You're not hitting each other.
Yeah, you're not hitting each other, and like you're not just trying to beat each other. You're not punching as hard as you can.
But the thing is, you can go all out, but without really seriously getting hurt.
Yeah.
It's just submissions. You try to just don't get me wrong. The accidents that have happened, like man, I got headbutted before. I've got a severe foot sprain. A bigger guy tried to kick me down, like heavyweight, like 245 plus, but he threw his whole body on my leg and landed on my foot and just bent it. And then
I hate messing up the foot.
Yeah,
it's always the worst.
I've strained my elbow terribly before, where like it's cracked a few times, but getting hurt does happen. But for the most part, like it's you can go as hard as you can without seriously
hurting
each other. And no, it's great, man. I suggest that if there's any one martial arts for like a person who wants to learn and doesn't feel like comfortable necessarily, it would be jiu-jitsu because it's a great it's a great process. Like you won't. I guess what I'm trying to say is that
I would say it's the most humbling because someone puts you in an armbar. That means they're technically they broken your arm, right?
Yeah.
And that's why you tap because at that point your arm is broken, right? So if you take that into realistic, in all jiu-jitsu, when you get stuck and you have to tap, that means you've lost like completely. You've lost the fight.
Yeah.
And it's not like, and you can keep going after that. You can train hard, but not use that energy like you would to win a boxing match. At the end of it, you're gonna be exhausted. You're gonna be tired, right? You're gonna be worn out. In the jiu-jitsu, you can keep doing it. You can keep getting people in locks. You can get into locks too and tapping. You can just keep going. Mm-hmm. It's a constant. You learn faster, in my opinion, because when you get stuck in these locks, you're like, dang, my arm just got broken, right? What do I do to prevent this? And it's just like it becomes more of a serious and like you said, technical.
Yeah.
When it's like a game of chess, in my opinion, more.
No, that's it's been said that before. I think Joe Rogan said that, and he's right. Essentially, like a technical, like a human. It's like you're using your body as a game of chess because you're doing this move and it's only gonna do this move, and you gotta figure out how to do this move.
Yeah. But what's open from it? Like, what body is being tense and which body is being loose.
Yeah.
Is it? It's a lot of things. It's a
Yeah.
lot.
I guess what I was trying to say, as far as like someone who's hopping into it, it's the one martial arts where it's not really necessarily, because in every martial arts, I mean, yeah, the athletic person is gonna have the advantage, but this is the one where anyone can come in and do great in.
Yeah.
I've seen like, man, I've seen one guy before who used to get wrecked all the time, like bad. Like, he was smaller, he wasn't strong, he wasn't fast, but man, he just kept at it, persistent, and man, his skill set, his technical skill set of knowing what to do in a certain situation, like, became super high. And I remember seeing him a few months later, because I'll take in breaks in between when I was training, and I went after him with him. He tapped me out easily.
Mm-hmm.
This was a guy everyone would beat, and he just learned like the moveset quickly.
When you learn, man, and you're always getting beat, and you finally start winning. It's a good feeling. It's a good feeling that it's because you're learning. Like, you're not just doing this for nothing, right?
Yeah.
You're actually learning something. Mm-hmm. You're not finding yourself defeated. And the good. Okay, so there's a thing called trust the tap. You gotta trust your partner, whoever you're sparring with. So I was seeing this, and there was some place in South America that the little dojo, and even though the dude was tapping, right, they just choked him out. It's like a learning experience or something.
Yeah.
And then they wrestled him again, like, even though he came back from being unconscious. They were still sparring with him and putting him in more life. It's like, no. You don't learn from getting choked out. That's not how it works.
No.
It's completely against the rules, man.
No, that's like a bully. That's like how
it is a bully. That's messed up.
No, it is. It's just gotten really popular. It's just gotten pretty big. It's gotten mainstream for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of gyms, a lot of people out there who are just. They're kind of meatheads. They don't get like the whole martial arts experience of it. They think it's more of like, no pain, no gain,
Yeah.
It's not. They don't really look at it as like a fine. They don't look at it as an art, which
And then some people don't even when they get into that, they only want to do it to beat people up. They don't. There's some people that don't. They don't care about people.
Yeah.
They don't care about the person they're training.
You know what though? That being my experience throughout my whole life, going to a few gyms, that is pretty rare. The reason why is because people get kicked out. Usually, if you're at a good gym, they get kicked out immediately.
Yeah.
They get kicked out immediately.
But there's times, and even in this video, I've seen the instructors. They become so cocky, right? Because they run this place, they think they are the best. It's something that is developed over time, right? And then you become a student, a cocky student comes in, right? And you just. You get mad and you choke. Like what I saw in the video. This is from a video. This actually happened. He chokes the guy out. He's not like a high belt or anything. He's a low belt. And he chokes the dude out. And he's supposed to be like an instructor, a leader, And then he's the one choking people out even though they're tapping. Like what are you showing people, to be violent? Like what are you? I mean, it was one person out of many, right?
It's
a rare occasion.
Yeah. It's a old school mentality about like he's a leader, he's a sensei, teacher, coach, whatever. He has established dominance of some sort. So that's what they think. It's kind of like that. They're very that type of mentality is like no one's gonna challenge my authority. I'm gonna be the
head dog, and I'm gonna prove I am. And that's what he did. He choked him out, and he was just, I don't know why, for whatever reason, but that's something you do. Let me tell you a story. So I went to this gym that my friend goes to, and I went in there for free. Like I went there for like a week. This is just one of the cases that I just wanted to, train with my buddy and spar with him and whatnot, and go to his gym. And the main guy there, like the owner of the gym, and I ended up going, like we were like switching partners, and I finally go against him. Like I started laughing in the beginning. I'm like, all right, let's go, because I already know he's better than me. It's obvious. He's a lot older. He's had experience in the ring, in his own gym. He's been doing this longer than I have. Mm-hmm. And like the first thing I do is go for a takedown, and like he used my force against him. Like he did that move I was telling you where you like try to tackle. Bro, this guy like puts me in the hardest chokehold and makes me go. I'm just like, and I like, I tap him, just like, I kind of like think to myself, I was like, why did this dude go so hard? Like if I knew this, like if he was really gonna do that, like I would have been more careful. I was like, man, this guy's a dick.
Yeah.
Like I know, and I talked to my friend about it, and I was just like, oh yeah, he just showing he's a big dog, and I was like, you don't need to prove you're a big dog, man. Like, I wasn't even trying to like go that hard, and like, bro, he straight up like did it. He was like trying hard and like real tight from the beginning. He didn't just kind of hold it there and kind of squeeze. He was just like straight. Like, I was like, why am I gonna go into your gym if I'm gonna try to learn from you, right? If you're just gonna try to like hurt the people that come in your gym. It wasn't like I was really offended by it. I was just kind of like surprised that even say you're better than someone, right? Or it's like to him, I was a little kid to compare to him, right?
Yeah.
I was younger, and our bodies compared. It's like obviously I'm not fully developed. I was a lot younger. He goes in straight and chokes him, and he's like, man, who are you proving? Are you just proving to me? What am I supposed to respect you from this? Nah. It's just like someone beats you up and you learn nothing from it.
Yeah.
It's like I got beat up.
Yeah.
Oh, great. You know, I got beat up. Well, I'm not gonna learn from this. And it's just like you go to a gym and you constantly just get beat up. And no one's teaching you. See, that's what and I know this is in a lot of places. And from the video I saw, people aren't teaching someone. People are just teaching themselves, just practicing their craft, and they're not really in it for the learning experience for others.
Yeah, no, it happens.
Yeah.
It happens, Clark. It happens, man. You just gotta know when you notice that either you go. And it becomes awkward because I've been in a situation before one time where my coach, he was supposed to be my coach, he suddenly like went hard at me, like hard, and I wasn't expecting it, and it brought an awkward situation where it's like, what do? You attack?
It was an awkward situation because I was just like, I was thinking to myself, I was like, I didn't learn anything from this experience. I was supposed to roll with you and spar with you to learn and progress, not just to get defeated. If I wanted to get defeated, I could get defeated easily if I picked the right person and get aggressive,
Yeah, no.
I'm trying to learn, I'm not just trying to lose and then. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't go to a gym just to lose.
No, of course. No, it becomes. I get what you're saying. It becomes weird because the person who's supposed to teach you is whoop your ass, and it's more, and you sense that feeling of that they're just trying to make an example of you.
Yeah.
And it's either you can do a few things. One is about you can confront them afterwards.
Yeah.
Or you have to realize, you get to evaluate the situation and say, okay, why did this happen? You have to break it down. And for me, I broke it down like, man, I thought, why am I spending all this money for, because you spend a lot of money too going to these gyms, all this time if this person's not really gonna have the best interest in me. It's more just kind of just using me as to prove a point to everybody else.
Yeah.
To say, hey, don't challenge me.
And these situations,
but if I want to say this is rare. This hardly happens.
It is rare. It is rare because I've had a lot of great teachers. I've had a lot of people I've rolled with that never took it that far. And this it was literally out of nowhere. Like I was not expecting it at all. Yeah. I thought I was gonna learn something. He was gonna teach me something. He literally was just silent. He just literally just did what he did and just he knew exactly what to do more than I did.
Yeah.
And they just did it, and it was nothing. I just kind of felt like a dummy. I was just like, okay, you just the thing is just to find another teacher, roll with someone else. If you find someone who doesn't care, find someone who's gonna care. Yeah. Not every teacher or PE coach or football coach is. Maybe a coach is just doing it because he never got to experience his life. And he's doing it through football and he doesn't care about you, right? There's people like that. And there's people who do care about you and who are going to want you to see you progress. And that's the people you want to be around. The people who want to see you progress and are ready to go step by step and teach you the lessons and actually show care and not just...
Hey man, it just, you get, it happens, man. It's part of the whole game, martial arts, because those people are going to exist.
Okay, so... I think it was the main reason is because he was a constant fighter. He wasn't a retired, so he was a thing. So maybe he was just still trying to get better and just doing it in the wrong ways. I don't know.
I mean, it's just people are gonna have their different philosophies of how they're gonna approach, especially martial arts. Everyone thinks they have not everyone, but people think they have the correct formula of how to become successful, and everybody else is kind of just I guess a pawn or chessboard. It's kind of they're just there to be used or whatever. I mean, but like I said, that stuff is rare.
But it's there. You don't.
I've
experienced it.
No, of course, but it doesn't happen. To me, in my experience, I've been to, man, I don't know, at least almost like 10 different gyms. Not like training, but like staying there, but like just going sparring and stuff like that, meeting people and stuff like that. It doesn't happen too often.
No.
So I just don't want to get discouraged.
No one should be scared, but like you'll run across someone who just either having a bad day or just looks at you and just like, I don't give a fuck about this guy, like for no reason. There's people like that, and still love the person, try to question it, find another teacher. Some teachers, you go to school and they just sit behind the desk and just say reading the book and you don't learn shit.
Yeah, but that's just you gotta look at it like this, man. Yeah, it's hard to be whatever happens to you, experience those negative situations. You have to ask yourself try to put yourself in their shoes, and it's difficult because you're seeing them just produce negativity, and you try to think, why should I even care? But you gotta think about it, like, what are they going through? Why are they acting like this? What is the reason behind their mentality? And then, just to give you a better understanding, I'm not trying to say that it makes it right, whatever they did. It doesn't. But it gives you an understanding of why they act like that. Mm-hmm. And try to talk to them. For sure. Don't be scared to, like, talk to people who you feel might have wronged you. And if it gets nowhere, then you learn from that situation. You learn how to deal with those type of people in the future. And you know how to analyze a situation before it happens. You know the telltale signs of a problem before it occurs. Yeah. So it's just
definitely try to have understanding.
You definitely for sure, because sometimes things can be just a bad day for them.
Mm-hmm.
We all have a moment of weaknesses, and especially in fighting, because you're so vulnerable in that arena of like combat, and that's why. Because think about it, the way I look at fighting, it's the honest truth of what you are, and you're gonna learn more about yourself in that than almost anything, like personal about yourself than almost any other like hobby or anything. You learn about like anything else, because it's essentially simulated warfare. You're trying to go at each other, so it's like, and I know violence and fighting has a negative connotation in society, but it's not in that sense. It's about testing yourself and seeing, how far your capabilities are, and we can get out of this vessel, this body you have.
Yeah.
So it's the ultimate tactical sport, because you're putting, in a sense, I don't want to get over dramatic, but you're putting, I guess you could say you're putting your life on the line.
You are.
Yeah, so at the higher levels. I mean, don't get me wrong, sparring and stuff like that, you won't get necessarily like, you won't die.
Well, if someone
get hurt.
You're sparring and someone's just feeling evil, they can just choke you out if they got you, man.
Oh yeah.
That's why you gotta trust the talent. And if you're sparring around someone you're uncomfortable with, just make sure you're sparring around other people. Yeah. Because you never know. Like I said, it's a super rare, but you never know what someone's up to. You never know how someone feels, or if they're feeling devilish. So let's talk about respect in fighting and how we get. So what I found out, I've gotten either the most respect, or I found respect in myself from fighting. So the most fights I've gotten into, man, and then afterwards, it's just like more respect between me and the person, like, or I feel more comfortable with the person, or it's just like we become friends from it. And so the first thing I did was Taekwondo, and the first thing you do is like you bow in the mat, right?
Yeah.
And you bow when you get off the mat, and you bow to the sensei of the teacher, and you bow to the sensei. And it's all respect. And the respect comes from the sharing of knowledge, the well-being of the person. Because when you spar or do anything, it's the reason why they try to introduce so much respect and so much like civilness from it is because they don't want people training just to go out and do violence. It's not meant for violence. It's meant to protect. And whenever, I don't know, what would you say? Why do we find so much more respect once we get into these martial arts? Why is there so much respect from it?
I think it's also because it's something rare that most people wouldn't put themselves in that situation, because you're putting your ego, you're putting your self-confidence you're putting your well being in a way, not necessarily, but like that idea you're putting your well being on the line.
Mm-hmm.
So you have more respect for that person because they're going through the same. For and also, they're going through the same thing you're going through, and you realize it's not to put all that stuff and for self criticism for the world to see, especially the gym, because if you go into a smart situation where things get a little bit heated, and one person might come the winner or loser, because also there's nothing more self actualized self realization than losing a fight.
Yeah.
So it's like when you lose a fight in a physical, especially you kind of feel like damn. Yeah. So
yeah, you're like damn, like
so, but you get usually y'all have mutual respect because it's kind of like because both of you are putting on the line, both of you are putting all that stuff on the line.
Mm-hmm.
So because it can be like, because that's one reason why I stopped. Well, I guess I got hop onto one thing. We can come back to this later, but after the jiu-jitsu, I did Muay Thai. I did that for like two years,
mm-hmm.
and that was one reason why I stopped training as much, because I wasn't taking it serious as much as I did in the past. I mean, I was working out hard and stuff like that, but as far as like coming to the gym all the time and sparring, and I noticed that I was my skill set wasn't as high as it should have been. I'm like, man, I'm not taking it serious. And this is not a game. This is not something you don't really play. They say you play basketball, you play football, but you don't play fighting. You don't play more anymore. So
it's all training. It's all to be better, to be knowledgeable, to, in a sense, find a way to help others if possible, or help yourself.
Yeah.
So
no. I was gonna come back to that thing you were saying about respect, but yeah, that's really what it was. It's just kind of like you realize what's on the line, and because the thing is, we help. Too many people hold themselves too. Their egos are too big. They're like they walk around a lot of the time, and they think that they don't realize how vulnerable. I guess.
No one's been put in an armbar. Not everyone's been put in a lot of these things, man.
It's funny. I'll say this much, and you can go ahead and take it.
Go ahead.
You know the people who have been in a situation and don't.
Yeah. Oh.
You
can tell.
So
you can tell.
I'll say that much because you realize. How because when you come out of the situation, you're way more humble and way more respectful of what other person's. I mean, you should always be that, obviously. I mean, if you're like a decent human being, but even more so because you realize the potential each person has that they can do. Not necessarily like violence, but like as far as like in whatever field they're in. Even if like you're like in the corporate world or like the medical field, or the business world. It makes you realize what each person is capable of.
Yeah. So,
and fighting, it kind of it's the honest truth. It's very truthful. Like it kind of like shows you there's no lying in fighting, and I think that's one reason why there's so much respect, because, and what I mean by no lying in fighting is that it's gonna show if you've been training or not. It's gonna show what your mentality and your philosophy is about. So that's what I've learned from it, or in a sense that's why there's so much mutual respect and admiration toward these like warriors. Who I'm talking about, people at the highest level. That's why they're like seen as they're held so high up, because man, I mean, think about losing a fight in front of millions of people. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Think about that. It's kind of a mind-blowing feeling, because not too many people are willing to do that, man. That's because the embarrassment, and they're willing to put it all out there and take that risk. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. And like respect. Like someone puts you in an armbar, right, and you're in the armbar, and someone's gonna let you go. That's respect. They didn't break your arm. You find respect through, say, mercy in a sense. Like whenever like you get into a fight and like there's so much respect in a fight because, like you said, you're so vulnerable and there's so much someone can do, and they either choose to do it or they don't, and then that's where the respect comes from because you respect someone not to hurt them. You respect to not just say give them mercy, but like you don't want to. You're not trying to hurt anyone, so you respect them enough to not want to do those things. And like, say you're with your master, if you have one or an instructor or a teacher, he's not gonna just beat you up because he respects you. He's not gonna just belittle you. And like the same thing with your master, you're not gonna just try to hurt him. You're gonna try to learn from it.
Yeah.
Because you can't. There's no disrespecting your your parents. And the same thing with your master, because your master will beat the fuck out of you. But he'll say, "Oh no, it's training, man. You don't do that." So how about that McGregor fight though? He came in there with all the tricks. He got into a clinch, started throwing the shoulder. I've never seen that before. That was interesting. Hit him in the nose, busted his nose. Hit him in the eye, busted his eye just with the shoulder. And then not even expecting a head kick, hit him with the head kick.
Yeah. And
then by that time he's dazed because.
Yeah, I think the surprise of the shoulder surprise Cowboy Cerrone to all those that we're talking about as far as it was the past MMA fight between Conor McGregor and Cowboy Cerrone. To those that don't watch MMA, but check it out. It's a short fight, 40 seconds. But it was a surprise tactic because I don't think he's never done that before. McGregor.
I've never even seen that. To be honest.
Jones has done it before, I believe, and a few other people might have. I don't remember quite at the top of my head. But that was kind of a shocking thing because that kind of stunned him. I could tell. He got hit and it left a bruise on his face. And head kick too, because something that McGregor doesn't really use at all.
Yeah.
He's more of a puncher. He does spinning back kicks and stuff like that.
But it was a straight.
Yeah, it was straight switch kick. Yeah. But it was good. It was good. It was quick. It was a good comeback fight. It was the right opponent as well because he was very well. To all respects to Cowboy, but the previous two fights he's got knocked out or he got finished. I mean, that's better than saying got finished. He didn't get knocked out.
He does have a lot of losses on his career.
No, he does, but it's more has to do with him. He lives that moniker, that nickname of the Cowboy.
Yeah.
He fights all the time. He doesn't even care. It's weird. It's crazy to see. It's just. I mean, he just loves to fight.
Yeah.
That's how it is, and but it's kind of to your detriment because you need breaks, especially because it takes fighting can take a lot out of you. You need time to recover. That's why it is not obviously the reason why it's not like a season like football or basketball like every other day or every week or once a week.
Yeah, you get a fight every 4 months or something.
Yeah, exactly.
And you put a lot of time into that one fight.
Yeah, a lot of the training camps usually last for I think the normal training camp is 3 to 4 months.
Yeah, I mean they could do 9 weeks, 12 weeks.
Yeah, I have a brief experience with I guess a training camp because I've done one jiu-jitsu tournament in my life back in 2012, and I get that's the most serious I've approached any athletic endeavor I've ever done. I actually watched my diet. I trained every day. I would work out. I have breaks in between, but I would work out constantly. As far as I even stopped because I needed to make a certain weight, so I stopped lifting. I just did calisthenics like push-ups and dips and stuff like that, and I would sprint all the time. And the fight was at 147, and I can tell you right now, man, if you're gonna take it if you're gonna get into the pro fighting game, and this is this is an amateur event, so I can only imagine what these guys go through as far as preparation for it and the anxiety. Because man,
a lot of the times what I've seen is they just roll over and over. Because even in a real, say you're in a tournament, some people are so experts in the thing they don't need to exert their energy even in the takedown or in the beginning. People just go on their back and hey, come here, man. Come on, I'm on my back. Let's go.
Oh yeah,
because they're so good at not exerting their energy and only knowing when to use it.
Yeah. It's about knowing when to explode, when to sprint when not
Yeah.
to sprint.
Whenever you have that moment, to use that moment, and it's like, and it's so much different when you're on the ground because you're not really you're not on your feet, you're not worrying about the balance, you're just using the body from the position you're in, and it's crazy because when you're in these tournaments, you have more than one competitor.
Yeah, more than one.
And then you can go all out in the first match, but you're gonna have a couple more. And you think about a real life situation too. You can't just go all out on one person if there's more than one person. You're gonna have to know when to use the energy. Like so, back to Jackie Chan, right? In his like movies, he'll like run away, and then he'll do a little fight scene, then he'll run away. He's finding his opportunities. He's not just going in like Ip Man, and just beating everyone up one after another, like 10 fighters, And I would say it's more realistic. You see a bunch of people running after you. Run, you find an opportunity, right? If they're chasing, they're not going to stop chasing you, right? You find your opportunity, you run down the street, you single one off, you do what you can, then you run, or you use what you can around you, like you use a chair, Okay, so who would you say is the best martial artist that, not Jackie Chan, but like that you think is? Do you have a
best fighter? I've
like
seen?
the best overall martial artist?
My opinion is George St. Pierre.
George St. Pierre, really?
GSP, yeah.
You know why I wouldn't say that? Because he used to look at Joe Rogan, and he used to be like, "Wow, Joe Rogan kicks harder than me."
Well,
and George St. Pierre is like a great. The reason why I don't think he's great, the best, is because I don't feel like he's fundamentally perfect in everything.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
I disagree with that.
Because
what I mean by okay, I can explain.
I know. I believe your opinion is your opinion.
Yeah, no, you're right. Everyone has a different opinion, but the reason why he saw that because Joe Rogan was like a national champion in Taekwondo, and he was specifically good at this one
kicking.
If now some people may not know what we're talking about, so there's a video of Joe Rogan teaching this martial artist how to throw a proper spinning back kick, and he was and one of his coaches set him up together for the kind of training session, and since he was specifically good at this one kick, he knew he could learn from him.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the reason why. It's like if I train this one punch this whole time, and this martial artist wants to learn how to do this one punch, you're gonna come to me because I'm the expert at that.
Yeah.
And he was expert at that spinning back kick because he knew how to properly do it, and that is one of the key things that makes a great. Well, anybody really, anybody trying to learn their field, their willingness to take a step back for one, and realize that they don't know everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think it was Plato said the philosopher, he said, "I'm smart because I know nothing."
Mm-hmm.
I don't. He realized he doesn't know everything, and he can learn from this guy. Even if just at a time he's a commentator stand up.
Yeah.
So to me that shows me more that he's okay, man. This guy is really like on the ball as far as like he knows who he can learn from.
He'll try to learn from.
You know how to take a step back, but I'll let you go ahead. Sorry, I didn't cut you off.
I mean, from what I've seen, I don't know everything about everybody, but from what I've seen from other fighters, they know how to utilize things that you've never seen. Like John Jones, for example, he knows how to use his elbows and his knees so efficiently. Loi Oda Machida, he had these crazy front kicks that were just devastating. You don't ever see those. It's just like the thing about the front kick when it's just straightforward. It kind of just comes up. You don't see it. You're not really looking like from here, And when your hands are up, you're focused on the hands. You don't see the leg. And it's like a mind-eye trick, you can pull on people, and it's just like it's like so many different styles. It's like, and to even say which one is the best style, I would feel like it was hard. If you were to ask me who the best is, I don't know who to say because there's so many people better in other things, and it's just like you could say who's the best in UFC or who's the best in one thing. I mean, I feel like maybe that would be easier to say.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know who the best martial artist is, to be honest.
I mean, that's in my opinion because he was the one guy who can mix it up the most, and he was the one fighter that I saw that I can actually sit there and learn from.
Mm-hmm.
As far as like the way he approaches the game is very technical. Like he'll use like one of his main weapons was just the jab. And the jab, for people who don't know, is just kind of the front punch, which is like you pretty much use the jab to set everything else up.
Yeah.
But if you know how to do it properly, it can pretty much win you a fight because essentially it's the quickest punch in your arsenal, and it kind of controls the pace and the distance and the range.
And it gets people blinking. That's an important
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. And also you mentioned previously the feint, whereas like the fake, whereas like you don't necessarily throw the punch, but you kind of fake your motion, your movement. And if you know how to do that properly with a jab, it's like it gets people, like you said, you're like flinching. It's like they don't know what to expect. So you can either like throw like like a up jab, or like a you throw a hook, But yeah, that's one reason why. Also, his ability to know his takedown ability is amazing. Was amazing. Well, is amazing because I'm not sure he's retired yet. But considering that he never did high school or college, it's like people consider like almost Olympic style wrestling, and just his whole bringing it all together. Just it was excellent. Like he very high fight IQ.
Yeah.
Just knowing.
I would agree. When I used to watch St. Pierre, man, I love that dude too. There was like a UFC, I think it was like 2013 UFC or something like that. Man, I'd be beating people up as George St. Pierre. I would be like, I love those fighting games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he went like 2 years without losing a round. So no man, he's.
I don't.
If anyone is interested in learning about martial arts, look into his story. There's a few different documentaries on it online that are really good. There's one I recommend. It's called I think it's called Bloodsport GSP.
Oh,
it's really good.
Isn't that with Van Damme?
Oh yeah, but it's the same title, but this is not another movie, just like a different name. It's like a fan-made documentary, but it's really good. Check it out. But yeah, he was. To me, he was the best of all time. I think he's still. It's gonna be hard for someone to overtake him. To be honest. Yeah, you got John Jones. You got Israel Adesanya that are come up. Well, John Jones. He's more like it's kind of a shame because he got busted for like steroids and shit like that and like cocaine.
Sneaky.
But man, he's another amazing fighter. And he's gonna have that asterisk on his record for the rest of his life. But he's another great fighter. I was backtracking again. He's one guy we're talking about. I was saying how the taller fighter knows how to use their length. He has an 84-inch reach. And he knows how to use that whole 84-inch reach.
Yeah.
So it's like he knows how to use his whole body to his maximum. So
if he can't reach you with the fist, you're too close. You got the elbow.
The elbows, the leg. He's very creative. Very, very creative.
And like in martial arts, you can be so creative. It's crazy.
Yeah. No man, people forget it's an art.
It is
they look at it as just like fighting, but man, it's it takes some imagination and some and the movement and everything and body coordination. And like I said, I really would compare it to like a dance in a way. Like it's very similar to like learning how to salsa or do merengue or tango and stuff like that. It's all, a lot of it is just foot movement and knowing your body well and just moving in and out and timing. So it's it really is an artistic endeavor, and that's one thing that I think I kind of gravitate because like I said, I love art and stuff like that. So the whole creativeness of everything, like not even just like the fighting aspect, like the pageantry of like the intros or like the music and or like the talking, the promo. Like people like selling themselves to like watch the fight. Using like different styles to talk to the public, and it's cool. It's awesome to watch to bring that all together.
How do you think fighting will be in the future?
Oh man, it's gonna be crazy to watch, man, because now you got this younger generation that grew up on not even necessarily traditional martial arts like we did. Like they're learning mixed martial arts as a martial art.
Yeah.
So they're learning everything. So
they got all the techniques right there in YouTube.
So this younger generation is gonna be awesome to watch when we get older, man, because they're gonna know it all.
Yeah.
They're gonna be well versed in everything. They're not gonna have. It's gonna be very hardly any surprises. It's gonna be so technical and so by inches. Because they get that at that pro level, everything is like a matter of inches and centimeters. Like everyone's great.
Mm-hmm.
If you reach that high, UFC, Bellator, ONE FC, I know I'm missing probably a few other promotions, PFL. If you reach that high level of like in martial arts, you're there. It's just kind of like a matter of like planning everything.
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
Having a strict regimen of knowing your weaknesses and your strength, and also like your diet and everything. So it's gonna be awesome to watch because it's gonna be so high level, man. We're not gonna see it's not even gonna. We're gonna look back at this time and look back 20 years from now, but like it's gonna look like two different athletes.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot different. I feel like in the future. I feel like, since everything is always improving and adapting, I feel like there's gonna be the ultimate ninjas running around everywhere now. Like every kid at 8 is gonna be like an ultimate fighter. No, they don't have anyone now has the capability of learning anything. Yeah. And like if you're just applying yourself, whatever you want to do, man, you can be great at it. Like if technology is gonna be better, like pretty much advertising, more people are gonna know about it.
Yeah. No, man. Like
more people in general are gonna be around.
No, that's true. And also, like you said, we're like in the information age, so it's like we have all the knowledge in our. We forget that we have the ability now to look up anything on our telephones. So it's like I was trying to say this hasn't to be one short, but use that wisely, please. Don't be looking up. I'm guilty of it too, wasting my time on like these videos and stuff like that. But use that wisely. Look up stuff that's gonna help you improve in your. I know everyone's probably heard this before, and I might be like preaching to the choir, but use that knowledge. Use the ability to like look stuff up and study constantly on your phone. Like use it wisely, man. Like you have it right there in your pocket. But so use that. I just want to say that.
Yeah, use your time wisely, man. Always stay educated. Stay trying to learn something new.
Yeah. Improve
what you don't think is like the best. Make yourself the best you could be.
Yeah, because now we have off topic, but now we have the ability to like, because in the back in the day, if you want to learn your specific topic, you would have to go to the library or a specific school. Now, don't get me wrong, you always need people to learn off of, like to like, especially in fighting, spar and train. But now you have the ability to specifically learn that specific technique. And it has like those videos and like instruction how it breaks it down piece by piece. So man, it's amazing right now the
for sure.
So I just want to say that use that wisely, please. Any endeavor you do, it's just don't waste your time looking at gossip. Don't waste your time looking at celebrities.
And don't be picking fights either. Don't be karma, man. You learn a little something, and now you want to show it to people, man.
I want to say
don't be.
Oh no, of course, don't ever do that. Because the thing is, you're gonna learn real quick that you're not the top dog in the room. You're not the top dog in the world. Yeah. Like you gotta be real, because anyone can get their ass whooped. Anyone can get like humbled really quick.
I recommend anyone try martial arts too, man. Martial arts it makes you grow as a person in a different way, man. Like you being close to someone and like sharing the energy that you have whenever you spar or something. It's great. It's different. It's something that's more than just playful. It's very constructive playfulness.
Yeah. No. It's helped me. It's made a massive impact on my life. It's taught me a bunch of things, man. It's given me confidence. It's given me the ability to help others when they needed it. The ability to learn what discipline is and the consequences of not being disciplined. Yeah. Because that's one important thing that you learn too, man. Because I got my ass whooped by doing stupid shit. Yeah. Well, not really stupid shit, but like being ignorant and not knowing what it can lead to as far as like in a fight. Yeah. Or like it will really also it reflects on on your own life too.
Yeah, on your own character.
Yeah. So
I've definitely learned a lot of respect, a lot of discipline. I learned concentration even more. It made me just grow so much as a person because it's just fighting is just like a natural thing, right? If we were like 2,000 years
we're all
in the past, we would have to fight to survive.
We're all fighters.
We're all fighters. We have that capability of doing these things, and once you learn something, anything that you learn is always beneficial. It's always productive, right? It's always a good thing to be learning something, and it's a good thing because being able to protect yourself or protect others or share the knowledge in the future. All these things are something that it's definitely something we should be doing and be a part of.
Yeah. No. Go back to. Yeah, we're all fighters. We're all fighting for something. It doesn't have to be about actually the physical act of fighting, but we're all striving for something. We fight every day. I mean,
we do.
It may sound corny, but it's true. We all fight every day for whatever it is, maybe for the higher position in your job, or to save a little bit more money, to get in better shape, or find that significant someone we like, 'cause,
Yeah. You
so-
gotta fight her ex, that he's stalking. You're gonna have to put him into a nice little chokehold. Then he tries to attack you afterwards, and then you put him in the armbar. If all else fails, you put him in an ankle lock.
turning
But,
lock.
You pull a pedigree out of nowhere, like your Triple H.
Yeah, we should talk. We'll have a discussion about pro wrestling.
Oh yeah, so we gotta talk about WWE.
For sure.
I mean, is there anything else you would like to talk about in the subject?
Well, I just want to say, try martial arts, please. I think it's it's important to have that avenue of releasing that stress, releasing that anger. Because what I see nowadays is that we don't properly release our stress and our anxieties in a constructive manner, and that can lead to, I think that's kind of helping what's leading to people becoming more mentally ill, or more unhealthy.
Yeah,
anxiety. It seems like now everyone's anxiety is stressed out. I mean, and that it wasn't like that when I was younger. It wasn't like that at all. And I think it's just because it has to do with that we don't find a proper outlet to relieve that stress. And I think martial arts is a excellent outlet because it teaches you to be more confident. It teaches you that you're not the most important special little thing in the world, and I think it's important to know that we how vulnerable we are, how insignificant in a good way. What I mean by that is, don't be so self-important. Don't be like, oh, woe is me. Don't be so angry stressed out, angry all the time. Martial arts can help you with that. It gives you that confidence. It gets you in shape for one.
Yeah.
That's the most basic.
It lets
thing.
you release the aggression you might have inside.
Yeah,
you.
exactly. Yeah.
But not in a super aggressive way, in a constructive aggression way.
Yeah.
You can release that, hitting a bag for an example, or just rolling with someone
100%.
and just never taking it too far, but letting that energy release that you probably need to let it go. And it's the best way to do it.
100%, man. That's a great way of doing it, man. And because we alienate that side of us, that animal side of us.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with it, man. I think it's important to learn how to accept that part of our brain, that part of who we are as human beings.
Yeah.
That we have an urge to. It sounds kind of weird, but not to be violent, but to be
dominant.
Some of us, okay, don't be wrong. Some of us are more animal than others.
Yeah.
Some of us are more brute than others, but not dominant. To be just expressive in that way of competing. It's like the ultimate,
show a good way to be competitive.
Yeah, it's the ultimate form of competition.
Yeah. Oh, you're right, because there's a winner and there's one loser.
Yeah,
it's not a team effort.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
just one-on-one.
And it's so honest. That's what I love about it. Martial arts is so honest. It shows you. It really does show you who you are, and it shows who the other person is too.
Yeah.
I feel like more people know
then they can find out more about themselves.
Exactly.
They can. You'll find a lot about yourself
That's
whenever you get rolling or sparring.
Yeah.
You know, you'll feel out. Do I have the adversity? Can I take a hit? If I fall, if I get into a lock and I tap, well, how will I feel after? Will I feel sad or will it be constructive?
And I think it's important to put yourself out of your comfort zone, and there's nothing more out of your comfort zone than being in in a physical confrontation.
For sure.
And you know, like I said, man, it helps. And it helps you face your problems and your stresses head on instead of like indulging.
Facing them right in front of you.
Yeah, instead of indulging.
There's no running around the corner. You know, there's no loopholes. It's straightforward.
Exactly.
That's how you should take life, and like just take it. How would you say this in a martial arts aspect? Hand by hand or foot by foot? Or punch by punch.
Exactly.
Punch by punch, guys. Rep by rep.
Yeah. So no, that's it helps you. I just want to say. I guess I ended on this. It helps you take your energy to a positive way instead of like relieving your stress on your significant other, your coworkers, your family, or indulging in like
someone who can take that energy you're giving, you're sparring with. You know, it's a good feedback because you know you're not just yelling at someone and you're just like making someone sad. You know,
or indulging in negative behavior.
All that, not doing bad things, not doing violence, destroying things. Robbing people or things like that. There's a way to stay out of trouble in a sense because we all have that troubleness inside of us. Yeah,
I just say one more thing. I say exercise is probably the best antidepressant medication out there. So I think that's if you don't want to do martial arts, it's not your thing. Go out there, go out for a sprint, go out for a run, go lift some weights, and you'll feel so much better.
Life is a fight, so you gotta just take everything as adversity, and just muscle through it, always get back up. Yeah. The fight is never over until your eyes are permanently shut. Yeah. But hey Mario, thanks for coming by. It was a great video. I enjoyed talking with you about this subject. There's definitely more to talk about, and we got to talk about a lot of things, a lot about a little bit of our experiences, a little bit of where we came from, and
no, it's good. It's good personal conversation.
For sure.
And I'll say like I say it one more time. Okay, they get frozen a little bit there. Go exercise, go work out, go lift weights, go run. It's the best anti-stress, anti-depressant medication you got out there.
So. All right, guys. This is the morning howdy, and howdy to you all guys. Have a good day, guys.